Hello students, myself Lalmohan Chatterjee, and today we will discuss very important chapters of class 11 and class 11 arts, class 11 commerce. The chapter name is quadratic equation. Actually, as per the West Bengal Council of Higher Secondary Education, they designed the syllabus in such a way that the mathematics is for the science students, for the art students they introduce a new name for the mathematics. That name is the business mathematics, basic mathematics and social studies. And for commerce student, they introduce business mathematics and basic statistics, BMBS and BMSS. So two syllabus they introduce in class 11 and 12 level semester wise. So in for art students or for commerce students, the very first chapter for unit 1 is quadratic equation, the theory of quadratic equation. We know that equation in the form of ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 is known as the quadratic equation, where a, b and c are constants and definitely a not equal to 0. So here, while doing a discussion on quadratic equation, first we have to understand what is a quadratic equation. It is a quadratic equation of x. Ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0 is a quadratic equation of x because variable is x and the non-integral power, the highest power of the variable x is 2. So that's mean in this quadratic equation we will get two value of x. That's why two roots of the quadratic equations we will get while solving. So now the form is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. It is known as a quadratic equation where a comma b comma c are constants and c a not equal to 0. That is the basic conditions for any type of quadratic equation. But if a is equal to 0, then if I put a is equal to 0, then that ax square, that means the coefficient of x square is a. If I put a is equal to 0, then that terms becomes omit and we will get a linear equation, and the linear equation is bx plus c is equal to 0. And here we get the value of the x, or you will get only one root, that is minus of c by a. So if a is equal to 0, then we will get that the quadratic equation becomes the linear equation and we will get only one root, the x is equal to minus of c by a. Now the second condition, if I put b is equal to 0, then if the b is equal to 0, that's when the coefficient of x is equal to 0, then we will get again a equation where ax square plus c is equal to 0. And from here we can find out x is equal to plus minus under root minus c by a. And that gives us a clear-cut message that the magnitude of the roots are equal but in opposite in sign. So that is the conditions. First conditions, if a is equal to 0, we will get only one value of x or only one roots. If b is equal to 0, we will get definitely we will get two roots, but both the roots equal magnitudes but opposite in sign. And if we put c is equal to 0, then if we put c is equal to 0, then the quadratic equation becomes ax square plus bx is equal to 0. Ultimately, x into ax plus b is equal to 0. So either x is equal to 0 or x is equal to minus of b by a. So here we get two distinct root. If c is equal to 0, we get two distinct root, but obviously one root is equal to 0. So very important points. We will get short questions from here. In a quadratic equation where ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0, a comma b comma c are constants and a not equal to 0. That is the basic thing to highlight to define a quadratic equation. And but if I put a is equal to 0, if I put b is equal to 0, or if I put c is equal to 0, then how many roots will get and what are type of roots will get. That is the most important thing here to get the short question, to solve the any type of short questions. Now I get a quadratic equation, ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. And definitely while solving we will get two roots. The two roots are, if I consider the two roots are alpha and beta, I consider the two roots are alpha and beta, then there is a relation between the roots and the coefficient of the equation. So alpha plus beta is equal to minus of b by a and alpha beta is equal to c by a. So I wrote here two relation between the, from the equation we form the two relation. One is the alpha and beta, the addition of two roots of a quadratic equation that give us a minus of b by a, where b is the coefficient of x and a is the coefficient of x square. And if I multiply alpha into beta, then I will get another relation. The alpha into beta is equal to c by a. C is the absolutely constant term and a is the coefficient of x square. So that is the relation. By using the relation, we will get the results, the number of questions we will get from the textbook, from the test paper, or whatever question paper we will get. We can solve the questions by using the relation. Now, how to find? How to find? A quadratic equation is given and we have to find out roots of the equation. How we will find out? We will know the first thing is factorization by the method of factorization. Factorization is the method by middle term factor. We did already. We already did in class 9 or class 10 standard questions. The factorization method, and the second method by the square form. Whatever questions is given, we make it in a square form and then we will find out the value of the variables, or that means the roots of the equation. Obviously, in a quadratic equation, we will get two roots, right? And the third one is very new but a very important one, was the Siddharacharya formula. By applying Siddharacharya formula, we have to find out the value of x, unknown variables, right? So now, if I give an example, we can easily solve the equation. We can easily find out the value of the roots, or we can say the roots of the equation easily by the method of factorization. So if I did one sum by the method of factorization, suppose the question is given x square minus 5x plus 6 is equal to 0, right? It is a quadratic equation where the of x, and we have to find out the value of x. That means the roots of the equation. How? X square minus of 3 plus 2x plus 6 is equal to 0, and from here I will get x square minus 3x minus 2x plus 6 is equal to 0, and ultimately x minus 3 into x minus 2 is equal to 0. So either x is equal to 3 or x is equal to 2. Now look, in this quadratic equation I got two roots. The roots are x is equal to 3 and x is equal to 2. So it's a very basics. We did the same sums again and again. We already did, and again we have to do to find out the roots of the quadratic equation. So students, we will do continue the same chapter in our next video. So please find out all the videos from our school YouTube channel, DICB Public High School. Thank you so much.